All the believers have disappeared. They're hiding in their caves. You won't believe what's happened to Dave, 'cause he can't sell his app, and Flatzoid has to cry wank. Oh, it's sad, but it's true. Mark Sargent's still living with his mom, even though he's 73 years old. And Vicker sees himself as Neo from the Matrix, but everyone else just sees him as a cunt. And Vlad is still 2'1", and Nathan Oakley selling microphones, and angels of shite, they're still willing to lick everyone's ass.
And now, from the mean streets of Essex, England, this is Whatcast.
Yo, this is Whatcast. We're live streaming again. Sort this out. Hello to the chat. Welcome. Thompson 666. So today on the live stream, let's sort my cap out. What's going on? Too many caps. I got a load of caps on the door there, and I got another load of caps over there. And when I'm not on here, I never wear a cap. Just it's like my disguise when I'm on the net of the internet. So today, what we're going to do, I'm going to put a poll up so we can have a choice, right? Between so I'm going to start off watching Planet Peterson talking to Solly. The reason that I'm watching that is because Solly is one of the biggest pricks on PrickTok, and he's the one that reports all of my lives, and he's just such a knob. And it's only about sort of 20 minutes. I've sped it up a little bit as well, but the reason I'm doing that is because it's quite funny. And while that is on, I will run the poll for what we're going to watch, and the choice is between Flat Earth Dave and Angels of Shite, talking to a 21-year-old, trying to indoctrinate him into the flat Earth, and the other option is Gas Pressure, aka Spurs Chemo, doing his Rockets Don't Work in Space live, but with the caveat of he's got Tron there, right, and Aloha, and they're actually allowing questions about flat Earth because they're teaming up 3-on-1. It is incredibly ridiculous, and also as it goes on, Flat Earth Dave comes along into this conversation and starts calling everybody demons. My preference, not that anyone cares because it's about what you want, is the Gas Pressure live. I haven't seen the Dave and Shite, but I just say so much shite you can watch in a week, right? But I'll watch it if that's what everybody wants to watch. Everyone would prefer that. That is like a YouTube thing, and the other one is like a screen recording from the PrickTok. So I'm going to get the poll up now. I'll set the super chat goal there. The usual rules apply. Extra time if we reach the target, and read everything out no matter what the fuck it is, even if someone's calling someone a head in a wheelchair like they did the other day, which was funny. Right, so I'm going to set, I've already done that, and I'm going to start the poll here. So the poll is the choice. Which do you want? Is it Shite and Dave, or is it Chemo, Tron, and Aloha Cringe Fest? Start the poll. The poll is running. I don't know what's going on. Why's the poll down there? Why's the poll at the bottom now? Is this a new thing? Right, anyway, let's start with what we're going to start with anyway. And it is this. I was wondering if Planet Peterson had ever taken... I don't know why. No, Dave might not be on the... he doesn't come on to right to the end, so I'm not sure we'll even get there. That's once the others have gone as well. So I was wondering if Planet Peterson had ever debated Shite or Solly, the two biggest dickheads on TikTok. And then he was on with Solly. So let's see how that went. Let's crack on.
Is when people say flat earth is fiction, they typically have a massive misunderstanding of the actual argument, and they tend to strawman it.
If you went from opposite ends of the earth and traveled in a perfectly straight line and looked down, like from an airplane, you would just see the earth below you in a perfectly straight line. Whereas on a globe, if you traveled in what's actually a straight line, you would be doing a tangent, so you'd actually be getting farther and farther off the surface of the earth. I mean, it'd be easier to just draw a picture of it. Where's my notebook?
Well, no, I think I understand. So when we do aviation, right? When we do fly aircraft, how do they adjust for curvature of Earth?
That's what flying is. Do you know that?
No, that's not what I asked you.
Buddy, literally, I have written 2 books about this. Okay, this argument that you're trying to make, I've done it before. It's not even remotely difficult. Do you know that an airplane is constantly falling downward?
Yeah, well, that's not entirely true. It's being
okay.
It's
an
compensating
airplane. There's a
lift.
Constant downward acceleration acting on the airplane.
9.81 meters per second squared.
Yeah, it's called gravity, by the way. An airplane, in order for an airplane to counteract that,
gravity would be the cause.
I didn't hear anything you said, and I will continue to not hear you because I'm speaking.
I know you're biased. I know, bro.
What
does an airplane have to do in order to counteract?
That is the way. I get pushback from this from people. Why are you talking over them all the time? Just let them speak. No. There are 2 people in particular, this prick and Shite, that if you do not talk over them, they will not address anything you say. You have to talk over them and over them until they address the things you're saying. Perfectly. And he knows this. He's been around a while, old Peterson.
The downward acceleration acting on it.
It has to achieve lift.
It has to achieve lift. So there are 2 constant forces, a downward force and an upward force. So on the globe, as the plane, as long as it keeps those in balance, it maintains the exact same altitude above the surface of the earth. This negative IQ talking point of, no, the airplane, it would go straight, but then there would be a tangent, so it would fly higher off the surface of the earth, so then it would have to tilt and then go down and then tilt and then go down and then tilt and have to go down. Completely misunderstands how it even works. I'm almost done, but I wasn't done yet.
Why are you so
even if I take for granted what you're saying, that no, the airplane would actually have to dip its nose constantly. Have you done the math on that? Do you know what the rate at which it would have to tilt would be? Because you're saying this is a problem. You're asking, how is it possible? So apparently this is a problem. So have you done the math? You haven't, but it's funny to ask. Have you done the math?
Okay, you only have to ask once. You don't have to be rude to every guest that comes up.
Have you done the math?
To compensate for downward...
I can't stand this guy. You don't have to be rude. He goes to every live with the intention of being rude. There was a guy the other day that he went, I'm not sure if I even played it on one of my streams, but he was a big guy, right? And this bloke, Solly, just come up, and this other bloke couldn't have been nicer to him, couldn't have been more polite to any of the guests that he had up. He was very pleasant, not like me. He was very pleasant to all of them, right? And Solly just dug until he just started to wind this guy up, and he absolutely loved it because he was annoying him. And it's like all they want to do now is just make people lose their shit. And then Shite come up. The guy was pleasant to him as well. And then Shite was like, you're an honest glober, I quite like you. And then went and made videos about him. These people are not nice. They're not worth being nice to. I wouldn't recommend it. Just be a complete asshole to all of them all of the time.
Acceleration, or to compensate for
the curvature of the tangent. Yeah, that. Have you done that
from a tangent? Yeah, it depends on the altitude. You'd have to incorporate how high.
It doesn't.
So the radius
really
doesn't change based on altitude. The radius doesn't change.
It changes by the most microscopic amount. That no, you don't have to. It makes no difference if you're 10 miles above
5 miles to.
If you are 10 miles above the surface. So the radius of the Earth is what, 3,700 miles. So if you add 10 miles, I don't know what 10 divided by 3,700 is, but it's an extremely small number. So like I said, it's negligible. So quit trying to be semantic about everything. That's how you idiots always try to argue.
Can I correct you?
There's no correction. It's negligible.
You're biased.
A circle with a radius of
he's not biased at all.
A circle with a radius of 4,000 miles and a circle with a radius of 4,010 miles, the difference is negligible.
So you can still use 8 inches per mile squared? That's basically what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything about 8 inches per mile squared. I'm talking about, we were talking about that.
Fake
and then
laughter.
you said, no, two different circles.
We love a bit of fake laughter on this channel.
Therefore, it makes a big difference. No, it doesn't, because a circle with a radius of 4,000 miles.
There's some more fake laughter. I think this is it.
In a circle with a radius of 4,010 miles, when you draw straight lines on the inside of it, like creating a polygon with thousands and thousands of sides connecting it, the difference in the angle of those is negligible. And you know they're negligible, which is why you changed the subject and then started talking about 8 inches per mile squared.
How could I change the subject? How could I change the subject when you didn't give me a chance to talk?
Because you started saying 8 inches per mile squared when we were talking about the difference in two circles with different radii.
Drop from a tangent? Drop from a tangent? That's what I asked you? That would be drop from a tangent, bro. It's a parabolic approximation. I can talk math too. You just have to give me the opportunity to do so.
I can talk
instead
math
of trying
too.
to do this like
Can't
condescending.
do
Why
math,
did you
but I
change the
can talk
subject to
math.
8 inches per mile squared when what we were originally talking about, which you made the point, was, oh, so you're saying that they're not two circles of different size? No, I said the difference is negligible. And now I've explained to you the negligibility, probably not a word, of the two different circles, and then you had to change the subject. So I'm just waiting for you to admit that.
It was your original argument was, how do you compensate for drop from a tangent? Right?
Nope.
So I didn't change the subject. I brought us back to square one.
Nope. So
No?
why did you bring up that the circles are two different sizes when the difference in the sizes of the circles is totally negligible? Again, and this all started because I said, did you do the math? So then we started talking about circles and how big the circles are. So
and then I demonstrated that I'm capable of doing math, and you talked over me.
Yeah. Why did you bring up the different sizes of the circles when the sizes are negligible?
Circles have different mathematical formulas to derive curvature rates.
No, we're talking about the airplane having to constantly dip its nose.
Yeah, which
the difference is negligible.
According to you, we can use 8 inches per mile squared. Now we're back to square one. I didn't change the subject. You just don't fucking let anybody talk, bro. You suck at this.
No, you
suck
100%
at this.
changed the subject.
It's
So
funny
what I
that-
originally said was, have you done...
That's like his main thing. Whenever he starts to get flustered, he tells you how bad you are at it. You're really bad at it. He says it all the time. I never ever saw him on anyone else's lives back in the day. But he used to do his own. And he'd have a great big panel, like he'd have all the boxes open like he's going to have a panel, but he'd only ever let one person up at a time. And the minute they asked him anything, he threw a tantrum and kicked him out. Every time. He'd sit there being Mr. Calm and Mr. Relax. He always does this crap thing where he pretends that he's just woken up when he joins a live. Like, I've seen him do it in multiple lives, up one after the other, going around. Oh, I've just woke up. Like, because he's trying to make himself sound like this is no effort for me whatsoever. I'm just going to breeze through this because you're clueless. But then very quickly, if he comes across anyone that's got any idea, he loses his shit and then goes to the next life and just gets out of bed again at the beginning of it. It's such a prick.
The math. At what angle does the airplane have to dip its nose? And then you said, well, it depends how high the altitude is. No, it doesn't depend on how high the altitude is, because the difference is going to be in the hundredths or thousandths of a degree.
Do you have any confidence in the topics that you choose
Yes,
to debate?
I literally wrote the book on this, and I have it pulled up over here. I have the math. What I'm doing is I'm exposing that you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just a low effort troll.
You just talk.
So, give us the numbers.
Yeah, see,
at what
all you
rate
do is
does the
talk.
airplane have to dip its nose?
What degree?
At what rate? Yeah, sure, degree, rate, degree, whatever.
You're looking at what it depends on altitude, but you're because like
Again, it doesn't depend on altitude, because if one circle is 4,000 miles big, or the radius across the surface of the globe, and the other one is only 6 miles in radius bigger, because that's how high the airplanes fly, then no, the difference is totally negligible. It's going to be in the hundredths, if not thousandths of a degree. So it doesn't matter.
Would speed be a factor?
No.
So there's no variables depending on the various amounts. So like a SR-72.
Why are you not
flying
giving
at
the
2,000
numbers?
So an SR-72
Give the
flying
numbers.
at 2,000. So an SR-72 flying at 2,000.
Okay. You are not allowed to say
won't.
anything except to give the numbers.
You're looking at like 1 degree every few.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
muted me while I did what you said.
Well, you didn't say a number, so I didn't trust you. 1 degree every what?
1 is not a number. You fucking
didn't
idiot.
start. You didn't start with 1. You said,
I said
so
1 degree.
blah blah blah, and then you said 1.
Dude, can you steel man my position? Can you do that? Out of good
You
faith.
can't
have good
steel
faith.
man somebody with a 3 IQ position. You can't do it.
You can. You should be able to do it easily if you have an IQ higher than 3.
Okay, you think the Earth is flat. That's a steel man of your position.
No, that's not. Steel man that better. Do better. I
You
can
think
steel man
that the
globe. You
shape
want
of
me
the
to steel man
Earth
your
is
position?
Uh,
flat there.
You can't still man a flat earther's position because they've all got a different position depending on what position they need for that particular argument at that particular time. So they'll pretend the sun's, for a start, they'll pretend the sun's outside of the dome for some things. They'll pretend the sun's inside of the dome for other things. They'll pretend the dome is in Antarctica. Where is that little sound clip there of Twatzoid?
It's in Antarctica.
They'll pretend the dome is there around the Earth sometimes, but then when they want lands beyond, the dome will be further out than that, depending on what argument they want.
You unbelievable clown!
You want me to steel man your position? I'll steel man your position.
No thanks. I'm waiting for the numbers.
No, you don't want good faith. You don't want good faith.
Give me the numbers.
Of what exactly?
The rate at which the airplane has to dip its nose down, because that's what you said.
1
They
degree,
don't compensate.
there
for.
are variables in this, but roughly 1 degree every so often, every few minutes, 5 to 10 maybe.
And this is someone that that puts himself out there as one of the smart ones. 1 degree per so often.
Wow, that was very precise. 1 degree every so often. You're an actual
Says the
genius.
guy who doesn't. You asked me an open-ended, vague question with no substantive specificity, and asked me to give you numbers on this.
Wits it.
Do you see how bad faith you are?
So if you have a principled position, then I would trust that you've at least looked into it. But you haven't looked into it. I have, though.
I think this statement also applies to Solly.
I didn't know who Witsit was, and he's like there. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's destroying these guys, just cooking these. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be that. I want to do that.
I got the numbers right here.
Tilted up.
Let's look at the numbers together. We'll use the power of friendship. At a rate of 7.85 meters of curvature every 10 kilometers, there's your 8 inches per mile squared thing, roughly. The airplane would only need to angle its nose downward at 0.045 degrees to maintain the same altitude after it has covered a distance of 10 kilometers over the surface of the Earth.
Do airplanes
is
fly
that
with a
something
positive
that the airplane instrumentation would actually pick up on, that the pilots would notice, or anything like that? That is the question.
Are you familiar?
No, your options are yes, no, or I'm too stupid to understand. Is that is that an angle that the airplane instruments would be able to detect, or that the pilot would notice?
Yes, considering the fact that
Okay, the correct answer is no. 0.045 degrees every 10 kilometers, and it takes, what, 38 seconds to travel those 10 kilometers.
Can I talk?
You're going to stay on mute for 38 seconds, and then we're going to see if anybody thinks that would be enough time to notice. So let's start our stopwatch starting
Airplanes
now.
fly with a 2 pitch up. They 2 degrees.
No, we have to start over because you started talking. Let me know when you're ready to shut up. You only have to wait 38
This is how
seconds.
they
Let me know.
treat people all the time.
Airplanes
And
fly
they
with a 2 degrees.
Let me know when you're
whine
ready.
about
They
it.
don't fly like that.
Let me know when you're ready.
No, dude, you're gonna have to just kick me. You're really just gonna have to kick.
Nah, I'll just start the timer.
You're just gonna kick me. Be a good boy. Kick me. A little.
I should probably be talking through this bit while they're not, but I've spit out a bit.
There we go. That was 38 seconds. Do you think that somebody would notice a
What was the
change
speed
of
the aircraft? What was the speed of the aircraft?
0.045
What was the
degrees?
speed of the aircraft? What was the
I promise I will answer that question,
was
but
the-
first, do you think
what was
that
the-
in all of that time that we waited, somebody would notice that the airplane
Vicious
dipped
cycle.
down 0.045 degrees,
What was
which,
the
by the
speed
way,
of-
is beyond the ability to
What was the
even
speed?
perceive. So
was
actually,
the
the answer
speed?
is no.
What was the speed of the aircraft?
What do you think it was? I have it written down.
What?
What do you think it
Dude, you
was?
have no good faith. I'm demonstrating in front of 400 people that you can't have a good faith debate.
I literally have the number right here.
Answer
What do
direct
you
question.
think the number was, and why does this matter?
You don't provide any substantive specificity in regards to
I
the
literally
claims that
did
you
the
make
math
about-
on it. I wrote a book about it, and then I wrote a second book about it. I have all of the substance.
What was the
Sully.
speed of the aircraft, and how did you derive
I have it pulled up right here. I want to know why this matters, because what you dumbasses do is you just
Insult.
wait for somebody to say something, and then you come up with an explanation. You guys are really good at on the fly coming up with ways of just shooting down all the
You're really
information
good at
that's
being
given.
a biased host.
We've already done it
How much do
5
you make
times
off of
here.
this, bro?
A lot. So
I bet
instead
so.
of doing that, you're going to tell me why the number matters. See, and now you're not gonna do this because it neuters your tactic, but it's going to be funny to watch. So
Do you want me to tell you?
why does the number matter?
Speed over distance. Dummy.
Yeah, the question is, why does that matter?
If you're flying at 1 mile an hour or you're flying at 500 miles an hour, do you think you would have to compensate for more or less curvature regarding the speed of the aircraft? Do you think it would be a variable?
Literally
that we
no,
would need to
because how
consider?
fast you're going
Literally
doesn't
no.
change the
Literally
shape or
no.
the size of
He
the
says
Earth.
literally no.
Yes, literally no. It doesn't change the size or the shape
So you
of
can
the
fly
Earth.
at 1 mile an hour and not compensate for the same amount of
Yes,
curvature?
he is.
You compensate for the amount of curvature every 10 kilometers, regardless of how fast you're going. Really dipshit argument. If you were going many
You asked me
times
how
the speed
long-
of
You
sound,
asked me the time variable.
if you were going many
You asked me for a
times the speed of sound, then you could say that the pilots would go so fast from point A to point B that they would have to start making a tiny angle adjustment down. But at I'm rounding up. At 950 kilometers per
Jimmy, I'll tell you their opinion on the launch. And this is, I did put a podcast out earlier. Some of you would have seen it. Some of you wouldn't have. It's on YouTube. But I was talking about Artemis. And I hope it doesn't take off today. I hope it can't. I hope it does it tomorrow. Because if it takes off today, they've already got their excuse. April the 1st, they're doing it. They are doing it to fool us. April the 1st, April Fool's Day. They launched on April Fool's Day, so then they'll just dismiss anything they say. Whereas they can't use that if it's any other day.
per hour, which is very, very fast. It takes 38 seconds to traverse 10 kilometers.
Right,
and every
it
10
matters.
kilometers, you only have to, excuse me, tilt the airplane. The
matters.
nose of the airplane would only have to tilt
So
down
speed matters.
0.045
matters.
degrees.
So speed matters.
Yes, I'm aware of how
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
now it
make the
matters.
dumbest possible semantic arguments where you take
not
something
semantic.
that's negligible
It's
and
physics.
pretend that it's an actual
It's
factor,
physics.
just like you did with the circles.
Physics.
You ran away from that point. No,
Physics.
a circle with a radius of 4,000 and a circle with a radius of
How did I
4,010.
run away when
There
I
is no meaningful difference between how you draw straight lines connecting interior points. You had to run away from that.
I can't run
And
away.
now-
I'm not allowed to talk.
No, when you were able to talk, you
I
ran
can't,
away.
no, you
from
haven't
it.
let me talk this whole time. How could I run away?
That's have you spoken?
You mute me every time I
have you
talk. You're gonna
spoken
mute
at
me right
least
now.
one
Mute me.
word without
Prove
being
my
muted?
point.
Sully, have you spoken at least one word
Literally.
without being muted?
I'm sorry?
You just said the two words, I'm sorry. So when you said you haven't been allowed to speak, that was literally false. So why are you being a bad faith debater? You literally just said two
Oh
words
my
and I didn't
God,
mute
dude.
you.
Who do you think you're fooling?
Exactly. So what I
do you
did
think-
was I did exactly what it does. I took the most ridiculous imaginable semantical point or discrepancy argument. It's not even an argument. It's just pure semantics. And I said, oh, what you said was literally false. We all take shortcuts in the way we communicate ideas. That's how speech
Would
works.
you-
Because everybody who's not
I
an
ask you a
idiot
question?
or a bad faith troll knows
Can I ask you a
that
question?
you sometimes make statements that sound quasi-absolute, but everybody
Can I
knows
ask you
the
a question?
difference. When you said, I haven't been
I
allowed to
ask you a question?
speak, that wasn't literally true, but
You're
we all
literally
know
not
what you
allowed-
meant. That's
You're doing it right
identical
now.
to what you're doing.
You're doing it right
In
now.
every single instance, every single example you've tried to bring up, you've done that. You've taken the dumbest
Okay.
imaginable semantic thing and tried to make it the entire point. So what do you want to talk about now?
I want to talk about quality over quantity.
You think your one brain
quantity-
cell is superior to my 100 billion?
Sure.
You think
When
your
I- when
four
I-
IQ points
if you
are
let me
better
talk-
than my, I don't know, we'll just say
If that's
100?
what you want to, yeah. If you want to say 1,000
Okay, you
words,
have 4 quality IQ points. What do you want to talk about next?
quality of words presented is more superior than quantity of words presented.
You've
Does that
by
make sense?
far, even though you've been muted a lot, you've actually done more of the talking because you are always
False.
talking while I'm
Patently
talking.
false.
No, you
Patently
are
false.
always talking while I am talking.
patently false.
And then when you're talking, I generally don't talk over you.
He's always talking when anyone's talking. Because if he lets anyone talk, he realizes pretty quickly that he can't say anything back. Then he does this thing, and he might do it here. I can't remember. I did listen to this when it was actually live, and then I see he'd posted it up on YouTube, so I picked it for today. This guy, Solly, will never leave a conversation. He will always ask you to kick him because that's how childish he is. Like, he had to call me a retard on mine because he knows that TikTok doesn't tolerate that. So whenever that word is said, they will all instantly tell the host they need to kick that or the live will be kicked. So he said he was going to do it. I told him I didn't care. Then he did it knowing that I would have to kick him. And then he could say, he kicked me. I didn't leave. That's how fucking childish this bloke is. He won't just leave.
So you've done most of the talking.
Patently false. I'm screen recording this, by the way.
I literally don't care.
You should, bro.
Why should I
is better
care?
than quantity. That's my
Why
point.
should I care?
Just saying, man.
So you had nothing for that statement, just like all your other statements. Just like the size of the circle matters, but it doesn't really matter. Just like the airplane flying isn't even a thing. So now that we've taken care of your F tier argument about planes flying, not proving or disproving anything at all, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about how the horizon is below the level line from high altitude cockpits?
Refraction.
Refraction.
Convergence.
Yes.
As convergence lies.
The airplanes that are flying where the atmosphere is about
in
the
that
density.
instant.
There's some extreme refraction.
You won't let me. You won't let me. I know you asked me to change the topic and you won't even allow me to do so. Listen, when convergence lines converge in on themselves, you lose information.
When it drops
Right?
low. It's the same argument you had with me.
That's just false.
And
There's no such
Globy.
thing as a convergence line.
When you have, so we don't view naturally through convergence lines, or like convergence lines cannot be drawn over top of the way that the
You can
natural
draw a
eye
pretty
observes
picture?
things.
Wow, that's exactly the same thing as positing that convergence lines have ontological status. Wow, that's the exact same thing. God,
Ontological means the nature of things, you dummy. It wouldn't give them physical properties.
No, it's about existence, dumb shit. What do you want to talk about?
Google it and put it up on screen. Prove me wrong.
There it is.
What do you want to talk about?
Google it and put it on screen and prove me wrong. You've been wrong about so many things. Google ontology.
I've been right about everything.
Google, you convince yourself of that, and anybody dumb enough to believe you, but prove me wrong.
How many followers do you have?
18K on my main account.
Wow.
Prove me wrong.
That's almost what I can't do the math. So 5, 10, 15, 62, about a 20th of what I
like
have.
I said, quality over quantity, bro.
Yeah, 1/20th of what I have. I don't even post anything on TikTok anymore.
Quality over quantity, bro.
Yes,
you have a bunch
your 4
of
brain
retards
cells.
following you around on the internet.
If you had to present the best actual empirical evidence that the Earth is flat, what would you present?
Are you empirical? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, empirical would be based on observation and knowledge and inquiry, right? So when you walk outside and you see flat horizons, that would serve as empirical evidence. You're welcome.
Flat horizon. The existence of the horizon precludes the possibility of the Earth being flat.
Does light travel forever in a medium?
Sure, why not?
Light travels forever in a medium?
Yeah, sure, why not?
So a flashlight shines forever.
Why wouldn't it? Oh, did he get removed because he called
Right.
me a Yeah, thanks, chat. This is great. Get a free book.
Right. Yeah. So he got himself removed. Yeah. So he probably said something. I don't know what happened there, but that's what he always does. He'll say a word that he knows he can't say, or he'll ask you to remove him because he will not remove himself because that's a concession. Oh, here we go. Cheers, guys. If you've just got a gift membership, that is the man himself there. Vicious Cycle with the dishing out the super chats, not the super chats, dishing out the memberships as usual. And there's also a super chat there from DCRS 1975 for the $5. Get the wank juice flowing. We've got to get the wank juice. Yeah, sorry, I got to do it 5 times. I don't know. There's 2. 5 times.
5 times!
Cheers! Oh, we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I do appreciate the support from Brandon for $4.99. Flat Earth isn't quality. I'm a NASA shill, so what do I know? You're the same as the rest of us. We're all being paid to do this. 61 people in the eye. 61 eyes on this. Not bad for a Wednesday at this time. 25 likes come on. Let's get the likes up here. Give us the thumbs up. Let's push this live out there. So what's the looks like the cringe fest. Let's end the poll then. End poll. So we got only 40 votes. What's the matter with you people? Chemotron and Aloha Cringe Fest, it wins with 62%. Right? So, how much are we going to get in? If we get the super chat target, we should be able to get through this. If we don't, probs not, to be honest. So, because I can't speed this one up, is the only thing. So let's get that up here. And then here we go. Let's get it down a bit so we can all see the people. So this is Aloha there. Tron is at the bottom. I'm going to lift that up a bit so you don't need to see the top. Tron is at the bottom there. So watch gas pressure spurs chemo here. These people, there's a one point in this where Bob the Science Guy comes up and the panic, like Aloha fucks off and he comes back because Bob the Science Guy comes on to tell Chemo, who is here, by the way, in this little, you can see him there, to tell him what to do in his own life. They both tell him all the time who he should kick, who he should keep, and what he should do, and he does it. And I don't know if it's in this one, but I was fucking absolutely destroying him in the comments section, calling him a bitch for doing it, and he was trying to explain himself to me why he does it. I don't know. It might not be in this video. It might be in the next one, but if I get there. But let's play this one anyway.
Yeah, I do.
And you think the Earth is a globe?
I do.
All right, go on and ask your question and see if the boys can answer it.
Okay. So in this worldview that the Earth is flat and we can actually see the crust underneath the Earth, how do volcanoes work? And shouldn't I be able to see the lava flowing through the crust of the Earth?
Does lava prove a globe or a flat Earth, or is it just lava under the Earth?
Well, can you answer my question? How shouldn't
I can tell you. There's a couple theories on it. I'll tell you one good one. Have you ever had a pile of mulch in your front yard?
Yeah, and if I pour water through it, I can see. If I dump enough water through it, I see the water seep out the side.
The pressure.
One thing, guys. One thing important. Please do not swear. Do not swear, anybody. Okay. If anybody swears, I'll have to let you go. But please.
That's quite important. And also look at the comments. Watch the comments as they go up as well, and the amount of people that are now calling everybody a demon based on Flat Earth Dave calling everyone a demon and Angels of Shite calling everyone a demon. Now, these sorts of things. Now, I don't take this very seriously, as a people know. I always take the piss out of this sort of stuff, right? And it's just comedy for me. I don't really care that much about the topic. I really don't like flat earthers. I think they're dickheads. But what I really am getting a bit concerned about, and I'm not fucking around, is the fact that they are the hate you see coming out of these chat feeds that you see on TikTok now, because Dave, because he has to sell his app, because he's an absolute scumbag, a scumbag. Flat Earth Dave is the biggest scumbag possibly on the planet, because all salesmen do a little bit of sleazy shit to sell stuff and whatever, you know, and tell, you know, maybe don't tell the whole truth because they've got to get their commission and whatever. But what Dave does is he finds a way to play into mentally ill people, or to make people mentally ill by convincing people. Now he's gone religious. He convinces people that the people that are arguing against them are actually possessed by Satan. And he means it. And Angels of Shite is now saying the same thing. So these people genuinely believe, if any of you went into this chat, they would all call you a demon and genuinely believe it. Now, why that's dangerous is, like, when you're fucking with religion, you can't reason with religious people. If they think God is telling them something, and this is why people get attacked. This is why, like, actual violence in the real world could happen, because Dave doesn't believe a word of this. He's not even religious, but he's found a way to continue selling his app as like a good guy. And he's got Angels of Shite, which he's jumping on the bandwagon because Angels of Shite has got a big following on TikTok. And so he's jumping onto Gas Pressure, this guy, because he gets decent amount, like he's got 136 in his life, but sometimes he has 400 or 500 in his lives. And Dave is jumping on, he didn't care about any of these guys before. He's jumping on all of them now, because he sees they've got an audience, and he's pushing this narrative that anybody that doesn't think the earth is flat is possessed and needs to be stopped. And Shite is like pushing it as well. And people actually, demon, get rid of the demon. And they're the genuine hate that they speak to. Like, people, when they come on my live, you'll hear that they speak to me. They hate me because they genuinely think that I've been possessed. And Dave puts it in this way. They don't even know that they've been possessed by the devil. Like, they think that they're just arguing but I know they have. Yeah, that's right. Demons. It's absolutely fucking insane. The fact that he would fuck with these people's heads like that just to make a few quid on his app. It pisses me off.
Do not swear. Carry on.
The water pivot. The water comes out the sides. It seeps out the sides. And if I'm able,
great.
if I have a flat
No, it's not
disc
worse than Star.
and I look at it from the side, and you're saying that there's crust underneath that, I should be able to see the lava flowing through that portion of the earth, right?
Why should you be able to see that?
Well, then where does lava come from?
Comes from under the ground, under the surface. But that's what I was saying about the mulch that gets hot. All right, bro, you ask a question. I didn't even answer for 5 seconds and you interrupted. Did you actually want an answer to the question?
You haven't answered the question, sir. With all
I was trying and you interrupted in less than 5 seconds, which is what you globe trolls do. Do you want an answer to your question or do you just want to interrupt? Which one?
You haven't answered, sir. It's okay. Go ahead. You
Ted,
can have your...
let somebody answer, brother. Come on, bro.
I allowed you guys to answer.
Mouth
You said,
shut your mouth and let somebody answer.
This is what happens.
Shut your mouth. Just talk. Just tell him aloha and just keep talking. If he won't listen, the chat will.
He's a waste of time. He's already interrupted you and me every time we start talking. He's a waste of time. Gas pressure.
Giving you the opportunity now, sir. Go ahead. I won't say a word.
Here's the opportunity for you. Give us one piece of empirical evidence for the globe. There's your opportunity. Go ahead.
Why are you pivoting away from my question?
Because you didn't listen when I started to answer twice. So now it's your turn. Give us one piece of empirical evidence for the globe.
No,
and if you can't, you just say I can't, and I'll give you.
There isn't one piece of empirical evidence for the flat Earth, and they all know it, which is why they constantly ask for the globe and then deny everything. Empirical evidence for the globe: 1972 blue marble, the sun, sunsets, the horizon line. All empirical.
Several pieces of empirical evidence for flat Earth.
Question, sir. That's all I want. That's all I came up with.
That person there, by the way, I'll point some people at it. Kathleen, there's a lot of women flat earthers on TikTok. Kathleen F.E. is a fucking idiot, right? Not as bad as Alicia. Look out for her.
Ted, I don't think you came up to get an answer to a question. I think you came up to troll.
I didn't troll. I asked a simple
Then
question.
shut up and let somebody speak.
Why did he pivot
Brother,
away?
Tron acting hard again. Shut up and let somebody speak.
Hello, ladies.
Did he pivot away?
Gas pressure. I think he's trolling, brother. I really do.
He can't shut up, gas pressure. He could not stop talking.
He doesn't really want to answer.
I started to answer him twice. Both times he interrupted within 5 or 6 seconds.
Goodness gracious.
All right, listen carefully. How are you?
Doing good.
So they told him to kick him, he kicked him. He's a demon.
Believe rockets work in space?
Yes, of course.
And you think the Earth is a globe?
Of course.
All right, what did you want to say?
I had kind of a thought. If the Earth is flat and stationary, what creates the motion for anything? I mean, something that's at rest stays at rest, or tends to stay at rest, right?
Yeah, the only motion is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Something at rest tends to stay at rest, right? So, if the Earth is stationary, what started like plate shifts or what started like plate shifting for tectonic plates? And
plates don't shift, bro. Archaeoastronomy proves it. Plates do not shift.
So what's an earthquake then?
That's just something happening underground that makes a vibration.
That's just something happening underground. There's Alicia there. She ain't got a fucking clue what she's talking about. She most of the time just sends laughing emojis constantly.
The plates don't shift.
They're not moving around.
What is archaeoastronomy?
Listen carefully. Try not to swear, okay?
Yeah. I tend to try not to.
I'm so worried about that.
Yeah, me
too. But tectonic plate shifting has to move from energy. Like the movement is from something.
So you're believing in something that I'm just telling you from our point of view. Tectonic plates do not shift. Archaeoastronomy proves it. We have buildings everywhere across flat Earth that still line up perfectly for the path of the sun and the many of the stars, proving that the continent underneath those buildings is not shifting and moving those buildings because they're still lining up perfectly. You have a belief.
The buildings line up perfectly with the stars, according to Aloha or Tron, whoever was speaking there, right? These people are fucking idiots.
That you were taught in school that the tectonic plates are shifting, but they are not. Everything is stationary with the plates. They're not moving at all.
Then what is an earthquake?
It's vibrations from underground. We don't know what causes them.
What?
Listen,
we don't know what causes them. Yes, we do. You just know that if that's what causes them, the Earth isn't flat, so therefore we don't know what causes them. That's the truth.
Listen, and it with all due respect, your questions are cool, but they don't prove that the shape of the Earth.
Okay, so the problem is it does though, because what I'm asking about is if
well,
the
hold on,
Earth is
listen. With all due
stationary-
respect, how does it prove? Prove the shape. Prove 8 inches per mile squared is legitimate.
So the reason that it proves it is because if the Earth is stationary,
Listen, brother, the Earth has
been
been proven stationary scientifically. Would you like to know how?
You asked me a question. I'm trying to tell you what.
Well, I know you're trying to tell us things, but you have no evidence. You just have words.
Oh, Sogs, you want to talk now, do you? I thought everyone was lame in here. I thought we were all pricks and we should be doing useful things. It's really weird that, like, you should all be doing something useful, and then Sogs desperately tries to join in with the conversation. This is shit. Whilst sitting there watching it. Go do something else then, Sogs, you fucking bellend.
With all due respect, we know what we're talking about. We'll help you. The Earth has been proven. The Earth has been proven scientifically to not be in motion. We are not orbiting the sun at 18 miles per second. That's a fantastical speed that would unalive everybody. We are not spinning once per day. It's at over 1,000 miles per hour. It's foolishness. You know we're not moving. Your very senses tell you you're not moving.
No, they don't. Constant motion. You know this, Tron. I've spoken to you about it.
You walk outside and you see nothing in motion except air, and we have scientific evidence that has proven, famous experiments that have proven the Earth to not be in motion at all.
Sogs.
Were you?
Right, Sogs. I only allow funny trolls in here and people that have actually got something rather than how about this, Sogs. Sogs. Fuck off, Sogs. Let's go.
Aware of this?
No, because they don't exist, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, you're fixing to learn something. So is everybody in the chat.
But you,
George, hey,
you still haven't answered my question, though.
Son, listen up, dude, and you'll learn something.
You're aquascaping to a different topic.
No, I'm going to give you real information for your research. Because you said there is nothing, you're fixing to learn. Listen up, please, sir. Please, I'll help you. Please, sir, I've got 19 years looking at this. You got 10 minutes. Now listen up.
Hold on. So look, let's not try to interrupt because I do want to hear a conversation. So listen, it's not just a free for all. If Tron's talking, if Elias are talking, just let them finish their point and then you can respond. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be brief. This is information that you can go look up. I don't expect you to be able to do it in 3 minutes while you're sitting on a panel. Look up George Airy's famous experiment with the water and the telescope. Then you need to go study.
All of the things he's about to cite, none of them say what he says they say.
Albert Michelson's 1881 experiment in Berlin when he invented his interferometer. Then in 1887, he worked with his cohort, Morley, which became the famous Michelson-Morley experiment of 1887. Then you need to look up Dayton Miller and Morley and their experiments of 1904 and 1905.
None of these experiments say the Earth is flat. None of them. All of your citations, if anybody goes to look at them, will go against everything you're saying that they say.
And they built a better interferometer. And then lastly, if you're able to write all this down, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Look up Charles Townes, Nobel Prize winner, which was instrumental in developing early laser light when he further in the 1960s reattempted the famous Michelson-Morley experiments using laser light instead of the old lanterns, again, finding zero motion to the Earth. Okay. And then furthermore, Albert Einstein knew full well what the results were of the famous Michelson-Morley experiment, because he said it was the fact that the Earth seemed to be not moving, according to Michelson, was...
Look at Gas Precious spells chemo putting his face, like moving his face around with the rocket, like he's playing a game there with his own face. Look at me, I'm on the rocket. Fucking fucking idiots.
What Einstein said, and he also used Fitzgerald and Lorentz and the famous Lorentz contraction argument, and he used that to position himself to form his theory of special relativity in 1905. Now listen carefully. I respect your brother, but you're outside of your league here. If you
Tron, you're not in anybody's league. You're out of your league here, boy. Me and Aloha, the fucking moron, are gonna fucking teach you a lesson by not letting you say anything. 3 against 1.
want to listen and learn, go study and come back and see if what I'm saying.
Go study. So where should he go study? Because all of teaching, all of science and all of physics agrees with him. So where are you sending him to study?
Is not so.
Tron.
Hey, listen. Do you actually want to listen and learn,
learn,
or you just want to defend your beliefs? Which one? Do you actually want to listen and learn, or you want to just?
He wants to listen and learn as much as you do. There's another prick, Luke Flatwalker. He's the one that created Angels of Shot's stupid thing with the plane on the globe.
Defend what you believe.
But my friend, I asked you if it's stationary. Why is there movement?
Well, listen carefully.
I'm asking.
You're making your positive claim, and I've debunked it with actual science, sir.
My
He
friend,
just gave you several experiments that prove it's not moving, and you're still trying to defend your belief.
No, guys, I'm asking you guys a very sensible question that we can.
No,
observe
it's not sensible. It's based on your positive claim that's been disproven, sir. What are you missing here? What are we missing here? What science do you have to? What science can you bring to disprove what I just told you, sir?
Tron, what exactly am I trying to argue? Do you know what I'm trying to argue against?
Listen, I'm not at this point. You're dish galloping. I'm not sure what you're trying to argue.
I'm not sure where we're going either. I mean,
maybe I can reiterate. But the point that I'm trying to understand is, if the Earth is stationary, right, and something at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by force, correct? Like, is that a fundamental laws of motion?
But you're assuming that it's a globe just trying to stay stationary instead of acknowledging your own observation that it's flat and it's not moving. And you're here defending your beliefs instead of actually researching reality.
I'm not trying to assert anything. I'm just
look, listen carefully. Make your last point. Make your last point. We're going to move on.
I'm simply pointing out, if it's at rest and we can actually observe things move, especially things that are in the ground, which causes mass events. And
what's moving in the ground?
We understand, we understand tectonic plates and how they move.
No.
Dude, there's no evidence of it, brother.
That's your belief.
Then how does an earthquake occur? How does this?
Listen, let me try this. Listen, if I were to ask you, what makes the sun move? You don't know, and neither do we. We don't know all the answers.
I could say that, but you wouldn't accept it.
No, because nobody has been able to go to the sun, scoop it out, and find out what it's made out of. We could sit here and go back and forth with all kinds of questions, but the problem is this. We don't have all the answers to all the world's questions on every...
Exactly. The problem is this. We could go backwards and forwards with all the questions in the world, but Tron and Aloha have no idea how to answer any of them, so they're trying to steer you away from that and make you talk about things that they think they can answer.
Topic in existence.
Yeah.
Then how do you have an ideology that's supposed to say no to another one if you don't have all to defend against it?
Listen, we're not making progress with this question, and it doesn't help us either way, because you can't...
Get a better qualified
I'm asking you how you get movement from no movement. How do you get movement from static?
You cannot prove that there's movement to the Earth. You cannot prove that.
That is your solely. That is completely solely your opinion.
No, that's observable, objective reality. Tron just gave you several sources to prove it.
The objective reality is that the air moves above us and the ground moves below us. So
hey, you just proved Hey, listen, you just proved the geocentric paradigm. Thank you. Because
the air does move. But the
that's
Earth
right. That would be the ether. That's the cosmos. Listen,
temperature.
You're correct. The cosmos moves above us. The Earth does not move. Furthermore, it's been proven, not only has it been proven the Earth is not in motion, it's been proven that the sky is.
Oh, it's another one of my favorites. Maloney, not baloney. Oh, God, I can't stand that guy.
In motion. Now, I can give you all the evidence for that as well. But listen, I don't think you are listening. I don't think you want to know. I think you're just mad that we know more than you, and I'm giving you information. Go study, sir.
Hello, Max. You're right, mate.
Then come back. You don't know.
He's not going to. He's not.
Well,
then
it's not my live. I'm just trying.
I am moving on.
Yeah, it ain't your live. Someone should have fucking said this at some point. It's constantly talking, telling everyone what to do, and then it's not my live, so I'm not going to do anything. No, well, shut the fuck up then. It's because this bitch fucking gas pressure Spurs chemo has not got any bollocks. He's finally getting attention from some of the bigger flat earthers, because believe it or not, on TikTok, Tron is one of the biggest flat earthers. Fuck knows he would not be a big anything anywhere else, because he looks like a dickhead and sounds like a dickhead. And Aloha, I don't even got anything to say about that knob. Spurs Chemo's getting attention because he does these lives every day. Therefore, if you're constantly doing stuff on TikTok, you get big numbers. If you're reliable and consistent, you will always get big numbers in your lives. So all of a sudden they want to be Chemo's friends. So Chemo's a bit blown away by the attention, because they've always used to think he was a bit of a knob and didn't have anything to do with him. So now they want him, and he's like too starstruck to tell him to fuck off and leave him to do the live.
I had asked you, how do you get movement from...
We know you don't want to hear what we have to say.
We heard it. We heard it, and we answered you. I answered you. Tron answered you. We heard it 3 times at least.
And guys, if you want to kind of like end it with that person, for example, you could say, look, I've had enough, I'm done, let's move on. All right? Just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. You tell me what to do on my own live. When you've had it with the person, you just tell me, because I'm not going to make you go and do your own live to make your own rules up, because I'm too busy with my tongue in your asses.
Very good. Very well.
All right. We can only try so much, and I don't want to keep going around in circles. Progressive, Jay Progressive, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Do you believe rockets work in space?
I'm going to get through much of this. We're trying. DCR and Brandon have tried with the super chat. So we've got, we've got Vicious Cycle with the 10 memberships. So let's say we've got 4 of the 10 super chats so far. And it doesn't look like we're going to be extending the live, but there you go. Cheers.
Yeah, but I have a question.
Do you think the Earth is a globe?
Yes. Yes.
All right. What did you want to say?
Okay. I had a few questions for your panel there. Do you guys believe that Jupiter is a sphere?
We don't know. It appears to be. It appears to be that way when you look at it. So it might be, but we can't confirm it. But it doesn't prove the shape of the Earth. The sky does not prove the shape of the Earth.
Wait a minute. We've watched it rotate completely over and over and over again.
Thank you. We know the sky is in motion. We don't disagree with that.
All right. So is the moon a sphere?
We don't know. NASA calls it a lunar disk. We don't know. It is sphere. It appears circular. Again, it does not prove the shape of the Earth.
If we could just cut to the chase, the Earth is not a planet. It's not in space. You're looking to the sky.
Prove it. Aloha.
You're assuming that the Earth is in the sky. No, you're assuming the Earth is a planet.
Saying the Earth is not a planet.
It's not a planet. It's the ground floor. We live inside of an Earth system. There is no such thing as a solar system.
The sun is just a primary luminary in our system that is moving over us in clockwork cycles, just like the moon, the planets, and the stars.
Okay, well, let's go off of that assumption.
Can I just say one thing because I haven't warned him? Jay, try not to swear, okay?
Oh, I wasn't going to.
I know you wasn't, or just in case you do.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say earlier on, the reason gas pressure, Spurs Chemo keeps saying that, the reason he keeps saying that don't swear, isn't because TikTok is, I wouldn't be on there if you couldn't swear. I swear all the time on there and I never really get warnings for swearing. The reason he says it is because he is encouraged, and this is the truth, and this isn't me trying to push anything or suggest anything. He says it himself constantly. He wants to encourage children to listen to his stream because he wants to get them while they're young to show them that the earth is flat. So he doesn't want their parents not letting them listen because they can hear swearing on their phones or whatever. That's why he does it. Make of that what you will.
So let's not look to the outer space there. How about this? We know that rain turns to a sphere when it drops from the sky.
That's not true. That's a false claim. Can you provide evidence of this? Can you provide evidence that rain turns into a sphere?
Yes, look at rain.
Progressive, you're spouting out false information. How does prove rain turns into a sphere?
He can't. Let's just cut to the chase again. You're going to say that a water droplet is spherical because of gravity. Meanwhile, a large body of water, when it rains in a large body of water, it'll level out with the rest of the body of the water.
Level out, not flatten out.
You cannot prove convexity on a large body of water anywhere in reality. That's the number one proof, the simplest and strongest truth for flat Earth.
We have...
No, it isn't, because you always say water at rest will always seek level, like water is sentient in some way and it's looking to be level. It is level because it's being pulled down equally everywhere. If it wasn't being pulled down equally everywhere, it'd be floating about in spheres. Fact.
Towers all across the East Coast that we built high enough that we could drop lead, that it would turn to a sphere.
No, Progressive, please stop at this. I got a question
Please don't speak anymore. Tron, just cut him off. He's about to say something that you can't debunk, so just talk over him.
Enough of this. Let's ask a question, Progressive. Look, can you prove the Earth is in motion like the last guest could not? Let's cut to the chase.
I've given you.
All right, can you prove that the Earth is in motion? Can you prove
3 examples?
Can you prove to us the Earth is in motion? And can you prove also? Can you also prove that 8 inches per mile squared is true?
I've given you 3 examples of.
No, you've given us no examples. Prove it.
I've given you 3 examples.
But prove it.
Observable science.
Prove it. Give him the big box. Put him in the big box. Let's see if he's got proof.
Historical science.
Who? Which historical science? Give me one scientist.
Inside the Earth.
I'll pick up a history book.
Give us a name.
Go to these locations.
Give us a name.
You can tour the towers.
Do you have a name? Give us the name of this science you've studied. Give us the name of it. Progressive, give us the name of one scientist that believes what you're saying.
Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, there's a tower there.
Okay, but that's a scientist?
Okay, so if you drop lead and it turns to a sphere, how does that prove that the Earth is a sphere? Is that just a belief you have?
Because all matter, given enough gravity and enough force on itself, will turn to a sphere.
Prove it.
Okay, so if the Earth is a sphere, you should be able to prove curvature, right?
It is observable scientific fact.
No, it isn't. Give us one scientific. Give us an experiment.
Why do they say we want scientific proof? We want scientific proof when the whole of science disagrees with their position. I never understand this with flat earthers. Why do they do that? I want you to tell me something scientifically that supports your position. Okay, about the whole of science. About the fact that not one scientist agrees with you in the entire world.
You isolate gravity. Progressive, can you isolate gravity? Progressive, I've not had enough. If we can't talk.
Not only had you denied.
Progressive, you can. I'm sorry, Loha. Progressive, can you isolate gravity? Can you isolate gravity as an independent variable and show us proof that gravity exists?
Yeah, gas pressure. Let's move on. Get our heads out.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah. Tell it, get rid of him, Gas. We'll tell you what to do on your own live. It's your live, but we're going to tell you who to bring up and who to drop.
So his point was that things inside of our enclosed Earth system turn to spheres on a small scale. We agree with that. But he's going to try to take that and relate it to the Earth, and he's never going to prove that the Earth itself does it. He cannot prove.
Well, the Earth is a sphere and the water is all around it, so it's kind of proven, self-evident.
Curvature. He cannot prove that anywhere in reality over large bodies of water or huge land masses even.
Right. And raindrops.
Well, you can, because like Baron's literally been on this channel showing it live.
When they fall into a large body of water, become part of that large body of water, which, by the way, water at rest seeks its level. Water needs a container and takes the shape of its container. It just goes back to our point. When we get into science, not theory.
Mimi, is it Mimi? I think.
Yes, Mimi.
Mimi.
How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
Before you start, do you believe rockets work in space?
It's in Antarctica.
You know what? I don't know. I'm new to this theory, and I'm really interested in listening to you guys. But I just had a few questions. So my basis always comes from the Bible, and it says in the Bible that we live in a firmament, and that the water.
Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch!
Waters were separated from the waters. So I've always had that question. Why does it say that? And two, so I don't understand.
Exactly what?
Pardon?
Sorry, clarify that. Yeah, you cut out there for a second. Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry.
Right, well, that was wank. That was a wank attempt at a super chat goal. I've never done so fucking badly, ever. So my minimum time is another half an hour. I'm going to give it another go. And see how I do it. In half an hour. That's supposed to be half an hour. Not. I've just set it for an hour, but it's supposed to be half an hour. I ain't doing another hour unless I get a goal. Time is money. Right, hang on a minute.
I've always felt that I've been put on here for something great.
That's what I feel like tonight. Right, let's continue on. And this is what I would say if I was on a panel with Tron.
Mute, you stupid bastard!
I was just saying, in the Bible, I can only go by what the Bible says because I don't, this is all new to me. And in the Bible, it says that God separated the firmament, and he separated the waters from the waters. And so from my understanding, and I'm, like I said, very layman, I don't know anything about this. I was raised to think that the world is round, just like everybody else. And, but according to the Bible, that's what I want to go by. So it says that the waters were separated from the waters. So above the firmament is that where the other waters are. And within that firmament that is above us, is that where the planets reside.
We don't know, Mimi. That's complete speculation. We try to stick with actual science that's observable, measurable.
We don't know. That's speculation. We try to stick with actual science. Actual science disagrees.
Repeatable here. We can't go to the sky and science it. We don't know how far away the dome or the rock or the firmament is, or what it's even made of. Now, it does appear to be because of the temperatures that rockets get, when they are at like 60, 70 miles, it's very cold, like negative 400 and something degrees, which is the same as liquid helium or liquid oxygen. There appears to be some type of superfluid layer before the actual firmament that nobody can get past.
Table manners.
But again, that is really speculation based on some of the data that we get from the rocket launches, which, by the way, most rocket launches don't go anywhere beyond 60 or 70 miles over our surface.
Hey, can I interject if I could, since you brought up the Bible? The Bible itself, from cover to cover, Genesis to Revelation, is completely geocentric. Okay, so the Bible specifically says that there is a firmament, that the earth is the center.
Fuck off, Bible. That's what I'll say. No one gives a fuck about drivel written in a book by peasants. Mary wasn't a virgin. She was shagged by all of the wise men. That's why they bought gifts, because they thought they were the dad. Can go in the house. Kango, he's a generous chappie from the Zealand of Nu. We're off to space today, are we? I ain't going anywhere. Right. When we say we, you mean that there's 4 people. I was doing this on the podcast earlier. Cheers for the money there. Cheers for the New Zealand dollars there, Kango. I was talking about this earlier. I was looking at their ages. They're all about 50. There's 4 of them, like that combined age of 200. And one of them's job is like the expert or something. And I'm thinking, how many times you been to space, darling? It's the bird out of the 4. How many times you been to space? What makes you an expert? I'm as much of an expert as you, and I've never been to space either. I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen until tomorrow, is my position on going to space today.
That the Earth is not moving. That's about halfway there to the flat. Matter of fact, there are places biblically that suggest the Earth is a flat plane. So the Bible could also be used as it proves our position for those that choose to believe in it, But as does the Quran.
Well, look, sorry, but Mimi, because you're kind of 50-50, right? Or you're on the fence?
I don't. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think I'm on the fence.
So I'm going to have to let you go for now. But look, keep listening, and we'll try and get you the evidence either one way or the other. Okay?
Oh no, you gave me a lot of information. I'm going to look.
That's a long-winded way of saying.
Shut up, bitch!
Into it more. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Joining. Bye for now.
Aloha, Mimi.
I'll drop you down for now, yeah. So, look, guys, if you want to ask flat earth questions, now is the time to join. If you want to have rocket questions, now would also be a good time to join. And we can get those answered for you if possible. Only if possible. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Oh, good. Very good.
You're a bunch of space geeks in the chat here, aren't you? Is anyone in Florida? I spent a decent amount. I spent nearly a month in Florida once. I never went to Kennedy. I don't know. Space. Like, I reckon it'd be well boring, wouldn't it? Like, if you actually went into space. Once you got past that, oh, we're in space. I'll look at the Earth. Right? Once you've done all that, it's just bollocks, isn't it? You're just floating about. Like, it'd be really weird, wouldn't it? It's like just drop a pen and it just stays there and shit. Like you can't do anything either. Like apparently, like you can't fart and stuff in space. I don't know. Did I say that was that correct? Like you have to eat certain foods because it don't go down. Hang on, I forgot one of them. I forgot it doesn't go down. Describing the food, I might have took it off. Oh, fuck. Ah, yeah, I've got it. This is what happens with food in space.
Well, shut up!
No, that ain't it. That's the wrong one! What about this one?
Yeah, what are you doing down there, Aunt Sally?
Talis, do you believe rockets work in space?
Rockets can't. I was just wanting to comment about the water droplets that they were saying about lead. What I've
hold on, you agree rockets don't work in space?
No, they don't go to space. They can't.
And do you think the Earth is a globe?
Huh?
Do you think the Earth is a globe?
No, it's flat.
Okay.
Well, fuck off then. You've got enough kiss asses on this panel as it is. Brandon K57 says the 199 here. The Bible isn't a science book. Friggin' tossers. I think you mean fucking wankers at the end of that comment, right? That's what I think you mean. Cheers, Brandon. Appreciate you.
So I'm going to have to let you go for now, Dan, but I do appreciate you coming up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, do we have any more guests? I think we do. We have another guest. Snake, are you with us?
Oh, no.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Tell us, do you believe rockets work in space?
I do. I do believe.
Yeah, but you're called Snake, so we can't listen to you because you're obviously a demon. I got to just. Brandon says this is the super chat, and Brandon's absolutely right here. Right. For the $4.99. That's the wrong soundbite, Matt. You just made the list. Fuck, I'm already on my own list, so I've got to make the list again. Actually, I think I haven't. If you don't do anything fucking stupid for about a month, you get this.
You just unmade the list.
So I'm not on the list anymore. But then I pressed the wrong soundbite. Matt!
You just made the list.
Get back on the fucking list. Kango here. Kango, your head in a wheelchair was very funny. Space, this is for the $5 New Zealand dollars. Space would be like a UK seaside town in winter, empty and shit, a bit like New Zealand. I nearly moved to New Zealand many, many years ago. I've never been there, but I was set it in motion, and then things happened and I didn't go. But I don't know what it's like over there. I think you're just the same as here, but a bit quieter, and the seasons are run the wrong way. As far as I can say, there's UK seaside. There's like Southend is closest to me, and that's busy all year round for some weird reason. But most seasides are fucking just completely weird in the winter.
And do you think the Earth is a globe?
Jaywick. Oh.
Yes.
All right. What did you want to say?
All right. So basically, what I want to throw in the mix here is with this Artemis 2 mission going to the moon in a couple of days. My question is, if rockets don't go into space, I'm sure that you guys agree, regardless, the shape of the Earth. Don't you guys agree that everyone in the world's going to be tuning into this and they're going to be watching that launch live go up there? So my question.
No, I don't agree. I do not agree with that.
Hold on, fellas. He wants a question. Just let him ask his question, and then go for it.
Yeah. Let me ask it real quick. Just saying. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be tuning into it. There's going to be somewhere that it's going to be live, and there's going to be there people that are watching that launch go up into space. My question is, if you guys don't believe, or at least the prompt says, do rockets work in space? Or whoever doesn't believe that they work in space, this is a 10-day mission. How far do you think that rocket can fly up and hang out up there if there's a firmament that it can't break through before it comes back down? Because if that rocket comes back down before those 10 days, then there's going to be obvious confusion on, hey, what's going on?
We got you. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah, Snake, I have seen over 100 rocket launches myself. I live just north of the Cape. 99% of them have the same trajectory as a ballistic missile, where they go up, over, and down, splash, just like gas pressure's picture there on the big screen. So you can believe that there's people on those rockets, but just the decibel level of how loud they are would melt any human being's bones inside of them if they were in something like that. No one,
even though nobody else but Aloha thinks that, and other idiot flat earthers. Like, surely if there's people that study this stuff, they would be coming out and saying shit like that. Like when they say the suits wouldn't protect you, your ears would explode, the heat is too hot, it would melt any human, it'd melt any suit. And then when they hear the explanations from the people that actually do the work, it's like, yeah, but. And they speak with such confidence. Simon Hansen here. We are smashing the super chats now. Thanks, guys. You always come through for me. Simon Hansen from the distant New Zealanders. They're the bollocks. The only reason Angels is on Earth is because his sibling parents couldn't afford an abortion. He's been comparing himself to Jeebus. Is he? I don't know what he's been doing because he blocked me, and I don't go on my other accounts very often. So. Oh, wow. Can I come up? Can you come up where? What are you talking about, mister?
Is ever on those rockets. NASA has been busted lying so many times it's ridiculous. So, yes, people are going to be watching. They're going to be tuning in. It's just continued deception, trying to promote the heliocentric model. I can speculate of what...
You're losing connection. Aloha, you're losing connection. Come back to where you are. Your bars.
I'll take it. Yes, Snake.
Sorry.
I know that it remains to be seen what happens. I personally, I'd be surprised if the thing if it even happens, because they keep first of all, they're not going to land on the moon. They're supposedly going to be flying by and all this happy stuff.
Mr. Stu, if you're a flat earther, I might let you up. If you're not a flat earther, then and you super chat 50 quid, then I'll let you up.
We shall see. We'll see soon enough.
Right.
But not everybody's going to be watching it because people don't care anymore. Nobody cares about this. Nobody's cared about this moon landings really since the early 1970s.
Nobody cares other than flat earthers that constantly go on about it and say, they constantly say, why, if we went then, why won't we go back? We need to go back. We need to prove it. We need to prove it. Whilst knowing that the minute that we go back, they won't accept it anyway. So it's kind of pointless.
Nobody cares about it. People are going to be watching TV and playing games and sports and entertainment.
I've literally got a whole chat here full of people that are all literally got their knobs out about it.
The only people that are going to care about this are those of us that know what's happening. I'm not going to be watching it because it's fake. Now, if they want to give us some real proof,
already fake.
Why don't they take that? Since they're supposedly going to be going up and orbiting the moon, they should be really close enough to at least get some decent footage of at least one or two of the other 6 landings that are there. There's 3 moon buggies that are up there right now. Maybe they can get a picture of that. Maybe they can get a picture of anything of what's up there. They won't. They can't, because we never have been there.
So that rocket. So if that rocket does not come back down, if it does not come back down in the 10 days, where did it go? Is my question.
The water.
The water.
Yeah. Ocean.
Vicious, they won't. They won't be. The people have got far too much faith in flat earthers being honest. It doesn't matter how convincing it looks. It's a lie. If they can pick... What the fuck? If they can pick holes... What the fuck? Why have you... Is that a real super chat? Oh my word. And I just made the challenge. I said if you do that. I've painted my boner like the Artemis rocket. And I'll put the link in the thing here. Right. The Australian dollars is making me curious. So let's stick the thing in the chat. There's the link. You're going to be on camera. Let's ground things to a halt. I should have said fucking 200, shouldn't I? Yeah, you're probably right. But I'm assuming you're not a flat earther because yeah, I know, I fucking will. I'm assuming you're not a flat earther because the challenge was either be a flat earther or it's that. So obviously you're not a flat earther. Right, let's continue on until he comes up anyway.
Splashing there and then retrieved later if it's even possible to retrieve it.
And that's if they even launch. I mean, there's launches all the time, but
exactly.
They have been putting this off for at least 40 years, ever since Ronald Reagan. Every president has said, we're going back to the moon. We're going back to the moon, all of them. And now here it is 2026 and they still haven't gone back because they never went the first time.
And that kind of sounds absurd, man. I mean,
well, Snake, listen, I'll believe proof. I'll believe legitimate proof. So far, we haven't got any. We know we never went. All 6 original moon landings were completely faked. They didn't go. Have you ever watched the documentary, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to
I've never seen a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Has anybody else ever seen it?
the moon? Have you happened to watch that by any chance?
no, I haven't seen that.
Well, it was put out in the year 2000 by a gentleman by the name of Bart Sabrell. You can look it up on YouTube. Check it out. You'll see exactly how the Apollo 11 mission was faked. You're going to hear the words of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong condemn themselves while they fake the Earth shot from low Earth orbit. They weren't even 100 miles in the sky. So check that out, and you'll see where we're coming from. And then we'll just see what happens on April Fool's Day, what really happens and what doesn't happen. By the way, I got to run. Gas pressure. I got to go, guys. Thanks, guys, for letting me come up.
No worries.
You can drop me, brother. Aloha, brother. All right. Goodbye, all. Got to run.
I mean, I'm sure
You got to
that
stay
we're
in
going
the
to get
guest box.
some decent pictures or something new.
You were just in the guest box and you've gone. What's going on? Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Do I have to really have the camera?
Why not? What's the problem?
Oh, I'm an ugly fucker. That's all. I'm Australian, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
suffering
tell.
from
So what's
Irish.
your what do you think about this then?
What's that?
What we're talking about here?
Well, no. The reason I wanted to join. Look, I've been watching you for a while, and I really actually content.
You realise what? Sorry.
I enjoy your content, and I like the way that you sort of convey things and put it forward. But I'm just curious as to why no one really challenges the flat earthers as to the what do you call it, magnetic north, and the anything that is to do with navigation, because they're saying. I remember at one point I heard, what's his name, Dave, Dave.
Flat Earth Dave.
Yeah, that's the one. And he said something like, "There's an island that just moves around in the center," and you think, well, hang on a second, buddy. It's not. There's predictions from 50 years ago. I mean, like, I was ex-Australian Army, and I'm making navigation on land that is directional to also the magnetic north. So how is that possible on a flat Earth? It doesn't exist, and I just there just seems to be so much that there is not, I guess, responsive from the flat Earth community, and is ignored from them.
Yeah, but they ignore everything, don't they? Like, how can you be like, you're Australian? How can you? Why would you even think about the North when you can look at the sun in Australia? And Dave, the person that you're talking about, his map has the sun going the opposite way to what you would observe it going.
Well, that's the other thing is I live in Western Australia, and I watch the many times, because some of the clients that I have that come over, they always want to watch the sun setting, and we go down to Fremantle or into Scarborough, and we watch it set over the beach, and this idea that it just kind of gets smaller and smaller and smaller is ridiculous, and you can see it go down past the actual, or down past the horizon, and it's absolutely, I don't know, it's unfathomable that they sort of they hold this kind of, it's once gone minuscule over land or something. I don't know, I've never seen it ever just disappear.
Do you know Angels of Shite?
I no, look, only because that you've done reporting on him, or you've actually recorded on him. That's the only reason I know it. But
So
I know that
you're not on TikTok or nothing like that.
no, well, look, I'm not that up to date with it. Only because of my kids. That's about it. I watch them do BMX, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, but it's just he would show a video of the sun doing that, right? And he fools people with it. I think he pretends he took it himself. I'm pretty sure he didn't, because I'm sure I've seen Flat Earth Dave use it years ago, the same video of the sun appearing to get smaller and then disappear. But it's like you said, that you could go out any day and never see that. But yet you can see the sun going below, like being cut in half by the horizon, until it goes below the horizon. Like, anybody could go make that observation.
But I would love the opportunity to have a chat to that Angels of Shit guy, just to sort of see, because the sun rises on his coast, which is the Victorian coast. So he would see it coming up. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a flat earther film the sun come up. Now, I've worked on a lot of oil rigs as well. And you can see the sun sort of drop down, and you can see the sun come up when there's just nothing but level water. And I've never seen him produce a film in which the sun is coming up. It's always the sun going away. And maybe that's some sort of delusional footage that they seem to manipulate. I'm not too sure, but I don't think you would be able to fool that as far as the sun coming up. But I'd love to have a chat to him about it. See, I'm an instrumentation engineer, and I actually study a lot in pressure and levels, and the idea that there's no gravitational pull on particular gases, and there's the elements themselves as they go into different levels of atmosphere, they start to lower. Now, how could you, like, for a flat earther, what is their response as to why those gases drop in those different
Their response would be something along the lines of, "You don't know what you're talking about, even though that's what you do." They'd all be better at your job than you are. The same as they're better pilots than pilots, better physicists than physicists. And there's like a land surveyor. I don't know if you've seen him on this channel, Baron Rutledge. Like, they all argue with him and tell him that they could definitely do a better job than him, even though he gets literally paid to be a land surveyor, because of his observations don't match what they want them to match. They just dismiss it. They don't care. Like, you've got too much faith in them if you think having a conversation with angels would make him make any concessions to anything you say.
Yeah, no, I get your point, and I guess I understand that because I've seen your conversations with a lot of flat earthers as well, and it's quite frustrating actually watching some of them, and I think sometimes I watch and I think, why didn't you ask this and why didn't you ask that? But look, I guess everyone has that kind of point of view. But look, the only reason I paid is because I've been a supporter of you for a while, but I've never actually given you any funds, so I thought I wanted to get up and just
It's too suspicious when people give that amount of money. It's like, fucking hell, only billionaire Jim ever gives me anything like that. So I'm just like, who is this person and what's his angle here?
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I didn't want to fucking throw one.
I was expecting Angels of Shite to appear on the screen for a minute, but then I realised he hasn't got any money and he lives. He's got his little single bed in the background and doesn't work. I don't think he does anyway. But he certainly knows everything.
This is the first time I think I've ever actually joined when you were on a live, so I thought I'd just put it forward. So usually I miss every live that you've got. So anyway, good work that you. I appreciate it, and thanks for letting me come up.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, cheers. Have a good night.
Tell her, mate. Bye-bye. Well, who'd have thought there was normal people on the internet? Jeez, Louise. I didn't think that was going to be a normal conversation there for a second. Where were we? Which screen was I on? I got this one, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It was this one. Yeah, cool. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. And I will pull this back over here. All right, yeah. So if anyone else wants to come up, $100. Fucking hell, I could kick myself. I didn't say more now. I could kick myself. I didn't say more. Right, the link is there. It only costs you $50 to come up. Right? That's the new price.
Because we're talking over 50 years, so we've got a lot more camera equipment. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of evidence that's going to debunk all these,
well, that's the future, Snake. All right, but listen, I appreciate you coming up. Okay.
All right, man.
I'll drop you down for now. All right, so if you have just joined and you're wondering what's going on, what's happening, my position is we live on a flat horizontal plane. We live in an enclosed system where we cannot leave, we cannot escape. And NASA, SpaceX are sending rockets up, either trying to escape or just continue the hoax. Hey, Callum, how's it going?
Hey there. How are you guys doing? I'm not doing too bad.
Not too bad. Do you believe rockets work in space?
Yeah, I mean, there's no physical reason why they shouldn't work in space.
Okay, what did you want to say?
Well, so my main thing is, do you guys believe that we've been to the bottom of the ocean? On Earth, this is. And trust me, it's relevant. It's relevant.
Never, not sure.
They'll never answer. Like it's like, oh God, where are they going with this? Let's not answer this. I've just seen sorry, not Vicious. Kango's done a couple of super chats here. While we was having a chat with this Mr. Stu. So is your name Stuart? Kango says, I've painted my boner like the like the Artemis rocket, because you've all got hard on for it. The Artemis rocket's going up. Let's all have a wank. Is what the general theme of this chat seems to be today. Kango again here. We're listening to a foot talk. At least put some wobbly eyes on it. Yeah, fucking hell. I know. The camera was on though. At least most people won't put the camera on. Dick Wayne. Hello, Dick. By the way, he's still an avid viewer who has downvotes my streams. Dick Wayne will never put his camera on. So even just a sock is more bravery.
Not sure if we've been to the bottom of the ocean.
Possible we have. I'm not sure.
So if you believe that we've been to the bottom of the ocean, then you should be able to believe that we've been to space. And there is no reason we can't get to the bottom of the ocean just using basic physics. And there is no reason we can't go to space using the exact same thing.
Okay.
That's a cool story. That's just a belief, bro. You cannot prove that
It's just a belief, like the dome, then.
anything has ever been to space. There's no evidence for it at all. It's just belief.
My point is that there's just as much evidence for both. But I also want to ask why there have been multiple flat Earth experiments done by the Flat Earth Society, amongst other groups, that have raised thousands of dollars.
Don't bring up the Flat Earth Society. They don't believe the Flat Earth Society. They're paid shills, right?
To test that the Earth is flat, for them just to be disproven by their own experiment that they designed. Like, there was a...
All right, so now you're revealing... Now, hold on, bro. Now you're revealing that you are a victim of misinformation from a Netflix documentary. And you haven't watched any of the experiment. Hold on, man. Hold on a second, bro. You haven't watched any of the experiments on taboo conspiracy, which there are dozens of them that are observable, measurable, and repeatable, falsifying the alleged radius of the globe.
Really? If that is the case, why hasn't the radius of the globe been falsified? And why hasn't anyone gone to collect their Nobel Prize for doing so?
You just
revealed... explain one then? Because genuinely I don't...
No.
It's because they're all in on it. Every one of them. There's not one scientist or physicist in the world or surveyor that has seen through this yet. They're just indoctrinated. They just can't... They're not smart enough. But Aloha is definitely smart enough. He's figured it all out without doing anything.
I'm not going to sit here and explain that. You haven't watched one. Go watch a dozen of them. Go watch 24 of them. There is no curvature, and that's why there's hundreds of millions of flat earthers.
There is no curvature, yet every single observation they show of faraway cities that you shouldn't see, they're always just showing the top third, but there's no curvature, apparently. What's that, then?
But what exactly are you measuring to do that, then?
Go watch a couple dozen on taboo conspiracy.
You've watched them. Like, you should be able to...
So just go to this one guy, taboo conspiracy. By the way, where the fuck is... Oh, it's here. Look at this, by the way. This is what shite thinks he looks like. Let's all point and laugh. That is how he sees himself. Angels of shite. Delusional.
I can, but you are completely ignorant of the subject. I'm not going to sit here and try to educate.
You're expecting me to
hold on,
educate
bro.
you in depth, aren't you?
Oh, no, not at all. There's nothing that you can say about your second grade solar system that we don't already know. I am not expecting you to try to educate me on anything. Why don't you here? Let's just prove the point. Why don't you tell us what the vacuum catastrophe is for the globe?
The vacuum catastrophe, what is in gas wouldn't, is because it's not got a container in a vacuum, it would just disappear.
No. All right, strike one. What is the cosmological...
Strike one. Who the fuck are you to be striking him? He's not even your live. You Jesus-looking prick.
Problem for the globe.
I mean, can you describe to me what inertia is?
Yes, I can. I can educate you on all these things, but this is about your globe.
Say what inertia.
What is
Give a definition of inertia.
What is the largest failure in the history of physics?
The largest failure in the history of physics. I mean, that's a...
Aloha is the largest failure. Oh no, shite is larger than Aloha, isn't it?
Really stupid question. I don't tend to
No.
failures in physics.
Okay, so again,
I know you didn't swear, Callum, but try not to. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't swear. I didn't, and I'm not going to.
Don't swear, because gas pressure wants 5-year-olds listening.
The three questions I just asked you. The three questions I just asked you are all about the same thing. The biggest failure in the history of physics is called the vacuum catastrophe. It's also called the cosmological constant problem, which is off, according to theoretical physicist Michio Kaku, it's off by a factor of 10 to 120.
So what's it called again? The
vacuum catastrophe. It's the same thing. All three of them are the same thing, and you don't know anything about it. So you're still just trying to believe what you were brainwashed
because I actually studied physics, and they don't usually talk about things that cannot be backed up. The vacuum catastrophe is a massive discrepancy between the theoretical vacuum energy.
Bro, we're not going to sit here and let you. No, we're not debating Google and AI right now. You can go learn that on yourself. But you just had a flat earther educate you.
No quantum mathematics.
Quantum is a cult. Quantum is a cult.
Quantum mechanics, which
flat Earth is a cult, and you are a cunt.
Relies on gravity.
Gas pressure. Let's move to
gas. Go down. Go boom, boom, my friend.
The next person. He does not have enough knowledge to have a conversation.
Callum, look, we'll speak in the future at some point. Yeah, we'll speak in the future. Because look, if you're talking,
goodbye, Callum.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can talk to somebody else.
Look at me trying to type it.
Is it there? Daxa.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, but I just wanted to.
Hold on, before you start, do you believe rockets work in space?
Probably not. I don't think that rockets can go to space, but no, I just.
Well, fuck off then.
No, you can fuck off.
I have a little question about the dome and stuff. So if it is as like the picture describes, it might not be, but if it's as the picture is described and it's flat with the dome, wouldn't that be a hemisphere?
I've no idea about the shape.
Well, I've no idea about the shape of the dome whilst showing that. I've never seen anyone depict anything but that as the shape of the dome.
Just saying, if it's a hemisphere, then how do we know there isn't another half, which would essentially make it a globe?
Like I said, I don't have a shape.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm not sure myself. It's just a question I always have. But
I'll share something.
Go ahead.
I'll share something with you. Every ancient cosmology shows the Earth as some type of a spherical system, but the place where we live is a flat, level, horizontal plane in the middle of that system.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we're on the plane of inertia inside of a toroidal field, possibly.
Oh my God.
So
he has no idea what he's even saying himself.
That's the real kicker. It's kind of funny. It's irony that the overall system might be spherical, but it is stationary, and inside is flat inside the land is flat and stationary, but everything inside that system is extremely dynamic, constantly seeking equilibrium. So if you look into the Hindu cosmology of maybe the cosmic egg or any of the ancient cosmology,
the cosmic egg,
you'll see what I'm talking about. They all depict the Earth the same way.
Right. Yes, because none of them knew what the fuck they were talking about back then. They just thought it was flat because they didn't have a clue. Why does everyone look back at the ancient civilizations like somehow they were Mensa? They're a bunch of knobs. They couldn't even invent a cooker. They'd go and fucking kill an animal and stick it on a flame and eat it. And we look back at them like somehow they should be. They didn't even have a fucking microwave back then.
Yeah, it always tripped me up because I'm like, wait, if it's flat but it has a dome, then it's hemispherical, which, you know what I mean? And then someone earlier was talking about going to the bottom of the ocean or whatever, and I'm like, well, if it's flat, then like there can't I mean, you keep going down, right? So there has to be a bottom to this thing.
All right, well, look, if you are on the same page, you do agree, I'm going to let you go for now, but we can talk in the future at some point, okay?
Okay.
I'll drop you down for now. Excellent stuff. So look, guys, if you have any questions on Flat Earth, now would be a good time to join and get those questions out while we...
Because Gas, Spurs Camo never does this. Like, he will never deviate from what he's talking about because he knows that he's got a bit of a chance there. If anyone wants to talk about Flat Earth, he just gets absolutely crushed every single time. So now he feels a bit braver because he's got Aloha on his panel. God, like that would be someone to hide behind.
Yeah. We can put rockets to the side for briefing. Hey, Ian, how's it going?
Chilling.
Shelley.
Chilling.
Shelley? Oh, you've gone off. You still there? No? Just rejoin, reconnect, we'll get you back in. All right. Do we have any more guests? Let's take a look. Z-Force. Z-Force.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, let me turn my volume up. I'm surprised.
How are you?
Good, good. So, I don't know if I can disagree with you guys, but I did want to add something.
Before you start, try not to swear. And do you believe rockets work in space?
No.
Right, so let's skip past him because I want to find this. Who is this guy? No, he was shit. So we're running. I've got about 20 minutes here. So I want to find this. Aloha drops down in a minute. This user too, guys, just argumentative and doesn't really know what he's talking about. I don't know who that is.
That the dome is about 100 miles up, given the
That's just my estimate, not every flat earther.
I want to find. Hang on, what's this one? I wanted to find Bob. Like Bob the science guy comes up. And it just shows you how disingenuous these pricks are. This Jeffrey bloke, he's just popped up here, right? And he is, I've never seen him before until this, and he's an obnoxious prick.
To kind of challenge that flat.
There's Bob. Because there's, hang on, there he is. Right, okay.
This is what NASA has themselves said. For starters, they say the Selenelian eclipse, which we just explained, is where you have a massive amount of refraction over a large distance such that two bodies, which are meant to be in a three-way alignment, pop up above the horizon. In addition to that, we have something called the moon tilt illusion, and we have something called the Coleridge effect. So the Coleridge effect is where you see an occultation of, say, for instance, Venus, and you see it through the shadow part of the moon when you have a crescent moon.
And then you find out later on that that was the ISS, and then you just pretend that it wasn't and continue to call it Venus, like Angels of Shite did. Shamrock, who's just joined there, is Bob the science guy. I just got to say something about the Selenelian eclipse that they always bring up, right? So they talk about how you can't have, like, it's always on the horizon, the impossible eclipse, and there's obviously atmospherics and refractions involved because you can see the shadow on the other one, and the Earth should be in the way, but you can see the sun and the moon, so it can't be the Earth according to these people. But everyone knows it's being refracted up. It's half a degree, right? That's all we need for that to be possible. Yet the same people will tell you that in the south, to get the second point of rotation in the south, the stars are being refracted and bending almost 180 degrees from all the way behind you to appear to be in front of you. They'll allow themselves nearly 180 degrees, and they will scoff and mock half a degree. Let that sink in.
And so they say this is refraction, significant amount of refraction too. Sometimes they say it's the crater of Aristarchus, right? Which is like a kind of a visual effect that happens from this crater that's on the moon. But generally speaking, they say that is refraction as well.
3:30 a.m.
And sometimes this body can be so far in that it's in essence between the two horns of the crescent moon. And so once again, this is said to be significant amounts of refraction. So if we have the Salinelli effect due to a significant amount of refraction, and we have the Coleridge effect due to significant amounts of refraction, then you have by definition said that heavenly bodies are going to be affected by huge amounts of refraction. And therefore you have taken away your potential to measure heavenly bodies. Am I landing the plane, gas pressure?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not bending what you need them to do to have the sun apparently everywhere and also go in the wrong way.
Not really.
Well, look, listen, hold on, Shamrock.
I don't know who said that, but gas pressure, am I landing that plane?
Yeah, it's clear. Fred, I'm going to drop you down for now because I'm going to move on to the next guest, but I do appreciate you coming up, okay?
I'm happy to go on to the next one.
Shut up, Jeffrey, and you're not impressive. I can't wait for you to come on to my next live. So Shamrock here, Bob the Science Guy, very knowledgeable. So Aloha has dropped down at this point. I'm busy. Drop down. Watch him return and the panic that he returns with.
No, don't worry about it. So, Shamrock, how are you?
Hi. What's up, Timo? You been well?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Tell us, I know your position, but tell us for the audience, do you believe rockets work in space?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, what did you want to say?
I'm very curious as to what you think the Salinhelian eclipse is, Jeffrey. You seem to be confused about a few things. Would you mind going over that again?
How am I confused?
The fake laughter. We got one of them. We got one of them fake laughters here that hasn't been played for a little while.
Is it called the impossible eclipse? Is it an eclipse where you have both bodies above the horizon? There's no
Just
confusion.
above the horizon. Yeah. Okay. So
that's correct.
So how far are they? How far is refraction?
If you want to start off with an arrogant statement, where's the confusion?
Well, first of all, it has nothing to do with.
Guys, one thing. Please do not swear. That's all I ask. Is
nobody swear.
I know you haven't. I'm just saying. Good. Just try not to.
So the Salinhelian eclipse has nothing to do with the position of the shadow.
Salinellian eclipse.
I'm very, very, very clear on what I said. So it has absolutely nothing to do with the position of the shadow. It has to do with the fact that you can see the moon and the sun both just above the horizon, with the moon in one, either in the east or the west, for example, and the sun on the opposite horizon. So that is due to refraction, and it's a small amount of refraction.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, you also said it was a massive amounts of refraction. So how much refraction would that take?
That's a lot of refraction to pop up. Right. So do you understand? Do you accept that an eclipse per se is relative to three bodies in alignment? Do you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's what an eclipse is by definition. So how much refraction are we talking?
No. You asked me a question.
I asked you how much refraction it was.
We're not here
to discuss. We're not here to
see. And this is the thing: when you try and drill them down, they talk. This is massive amounts because they think for something to be pulled up above the horizon by fuck all requires masses of refraction. It doesn't. It requires fuck all refraction.
Discuss the basics of eclipses.
Listen,
I
Shamrock.
asked you a very specific
let
question.
Me finish. Shamrock, settle.
Okay, well, you ask your question, and then I'm going to.
I will answer the question. All right. On a typical day, when we look at on ground level, we are told that there is approximately 8 to 9% refraction in our visual perspective.
Percent?
Right? 8 to 9% on an average day. Correct? Of the visual perspective. Percent, Shamrock? Do you want?
He's talking about that he's trying, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's saying you can see 8% too far with refraction. He's heard that somewhere, so he's saying percentage as far as instead of degrees.
Understand?
Yeah. Okay. So what is 8%? How many degrees?
When you have, listen, arrogant boy. When you have
how about
two
watch
bodies
the name
popping
caller?
up out of the alignment, when you have two bodies popping up above the alignment, such that the very concept of an eclipse is negated, then of course that's substantial amounts of refraction.
Half a
what
degree.
is with your arrogance? What is with
it's
your
half
arrogance?
a degree. It's half a degree, which is pretty normal on the horizon.
Half a degree.
Right. So two bodies over a distance pop up above the horizon. Do you not find that problematic? That's what's called the impossible eclipse. Right?
Not a bit. It's only half a degree.
Oh, good gracious.
Which is normal refraction on the horizon.
No, it's not.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to look it up in the celestial navigation tables.
So he's trying to suggest that because you get that on the horizon, which is where you would get it, that you're going to get mass refraction right up there, all over the sky. And he's talking utter shit.
Ridiculous. You have two bodies popping up out of alignment. You've already said yourself that an eclipse is an alignment. Yet
Correct.
Two bodies pop up above the horizon. That is by very in its essence, significant. Right? And you
Not
make
really.
this stuff up because your paradigm is so full of holes that it's not funny.
Mr. Stu, I'm tempted. I'll answer that question for $100. No, I'm just fucking around. He's sort of active. I speak to him sometimes. I was speaking to him on Telegram the other day. And he's taking a bit of a break because he's having to do other jobs and stuff to keep the money coming in. But he did put a video up, funny song, AI song up the other day about Angels of Shite and Dave Weiss. So.
Okay, so it's only half a degree of...
It's just Jeranism, Jeranism is the channel.
An umbra and a penumbra on Earth?
Yeah.
You're going to go
I've done
through that one in your mental gymnastics, Shamrock?
Yeah, I've done that one. You take a ball and cast the shadow of a ball from the sun, and you'll see a penumbra
When you
around
cast
it.
the shadow of a sphere onto a sphere, you get a straight line. Have you ever done that experiment?
I've got no idea where you got that data from. I'm talking about simply casting the shadow of a ball onto a board. From the sun, you'll see the penumbra around the rim of the ball. And I might add the umbra, which is the dark shadow of the ball, will actually get smaller than the ball if you move the ball away from the board.
I have not seen this experiment. I would love to see this because I have not seen something.
I did it a while ago. It's not that difficult
remember,
to do.
Okay, so Shamrock, remember that this is, you probably...
This guy's like, I've not really seen him around, but I've seen him a lot since this time. I think he's one of those ones that he knows a little bit and thinks that means he knows a lot. He won't last long here. There's too many people on TikTok that know what they're talking about.
About 50%. It's meant to be about 50% umbra and about 50%
How'd you
penumbra.
calculate that?
Well, you look at it. You look at the illustrations that they give you.
No, actually, that's
Are
not
you
the way
saying
it
that
works.
you've found significant amounts of penumbra and umbra? Or are you saying that
No,
you've
you
seen
asked me if I found any. There's a small rim of penumbra
you
around
can
the
get a
ball.
slight haze on the outer part of that.
Yeah, that's
and
the
that's
penumbra.
that's not going to give you any comprehension of anything. We're talking about significant amounts. I put it to you, Shamrock, that you've made that up. I put it to you.
No, actually, I've done it personally.
And you've
you can do
probably
it too.
seen a very small haze around it, and
Yeah,
that's
that's the
about all
penumbra.
you've seen, right?
Yeah, that is the penumbra. That haze, as you call it, is called the penumbra.
Go and look at your gods, NASA, and go and look at their diagrams.
Your gods, NASA. They've all got the same fucking bullshit insults. You love NASA. You love the government.
And you will find that it is significantly more on the diagrams that they put forward than what you've
Well,
just
it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit further away too.
Well, it might be, but
it is.
We're
I
not
measured it.
talking about. You can say that, and that's your argument. You say that it's 93 million miles away. I say that that's a farce. What
Well,
about
that's
the
what it
concept
measures
of what I
to.
said? So, Shamrock, now I'm going to ask you, and you're going to dance, right?
Sure.
What is
Jeffrey hasn't stopped talking yet, and he's pretending that he's finally going to get a chance to speak.
the go when you have a partial eclipse of the
Sounds like another Aussie to me here, Mr. Stew.
sun from the moon, and you don't see the entirety of the silhouette? Let's see if you can do your thinking here.
Okay, you're talking about a solar eclipse?
You don't have complete silhouette. Why is that?
Okay, are you talking about a solar eclipse?
Indeed, I am.
Great, because you're staring at a very bright object, the sun, and why would you expect to see the backside of the moon?
Not the backside of the moon, Shamrock. You're not listening properly. All right, your arrogance is
fine. No, I'm listening fine.
So you have the solar eclipse. You have this partial occlusion of the sun, correct?
Correct.
What I'm
You ever
saying
seen one?
is if
Here he is. Here's Aloha. He's come back to the rescue. Aloha to the rescue. What a cunt.
the sun is 93 million miles away, follow the bouncing ball, Shamrock. You're not as bright as you think you are. If it's 93 million miles away and the moon is 230...
I'm not going to suggest that Aloha was doing this, but I think I heard, when he disappeared for a little while, I think I heard this sound. Foxpole.
8,000 miles away, then the spread of that light, the attenuation and the general spread of that light, remember the inverse square law of light, is such that it will easily and readily light up the back of that moon. Not light up for us, we're not going to see that, but we will see as a result of that something called a silhouette. I'm sure you've seen those before.
Okay,
right?
yeah, I agree that the moon would have a silhouette.
Where's the rest of the body of the moon, son? Where is it?
You're staring at the sun. Of course you're
Where's
not going
the
to see
rest of the body of the moon?
It's right there.
No.
Hey, gas pressure. Aloha. Gas pressure.
Hey, hi. Hello.
You know who Shamrock is, right?
Here we
Of course he knows who I am. I've known him for years.
All right, this is Bob the science guy. He's a globe troll propped up by the algorithms. He's not here to have a conversation. Jeffrey just explained. Yeah, Jeffrey just explained observable objective reality in his weakest arguments. Oh, you're staring at something bright. You shouldn't see it. Yeah, we can see the sun disappear and then reappear with no silhouette at all.
When you block it with the moon, of course.
Hey,
we
so
don't see
gas
the approach
pressure.
of the moon.
Bob the science guy is a paid liar. He is an anti-flat earther. He is not here to have a conversation. We should find someone sincere.
Aloha, you know, Chemo and I know each other.
Aloha here to tell Spurs Chemo what to do, and he's about to do it.
Have for years. So
that's great, but you're still a paid liar. You're still propped up by the algorithms. You're still an anti-flat earther.
Okay,
you're not
so
here to have a
Jeffrey,
conversation, Bob.
Do you wish to continue this conversation, Jeffrey, or do you want to
all of these things to you in detail, and they are very highly problematic to the globular paradigm.
They're not a problem at all.
Oh, good gracious.
Yeah, they're a problem. They don't work. They don't work on the globe theory. Gas pressure. Can we move on to the next guest, please?
Aloha comes up. He's not even part of the conversation. He comes up and then tells gas pressure Spurs Chemo to get rid of Bob.
How do we predict when the eclipse will occur?
We don't need predictions. We have thousands of patterns. We don't need predictions at all. It's a well-known pattern based on geocentric flat and
how wide is the
stationary
area of totality, Jeffrey?
Hey, gas pressure. Gas
And
pressure.
how do we
Can move on to the
predict
next guest,
exactly
please?
where that's going to be?
Shamrock, why don't you see the moon approach? Why don't you see the moon approach?
You're staring at the sun.
Oh, good gracious.
Sun's very bright.
That's my 2-year-old's response to your mental gymnastics.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's your 2-year-old's response to you being shit. Your 2-year-old in baby talk is saying, "Fuck off, Dad, the Earth's a fucking globe, you bellend."
all he can do is say nuh-uh. He has nothing.
The sun is extremely bright. You're staring at it. You're not going to see it. You don't see the corona of the sun.
Hey, gas pressure.
Completely
Gas pressure.
blocked
Bob is a paid liar. He's not here to have a conversation.
Aloha's afraid of me.
No, not at all. What are we afraid of?
That's why you have to talk over me.
Textbook?
You haven't
What are we
explained
afraid
why.
of?
So Jeffrey,
We're afraid of your solar system.
So Jeffrey,
what are we afraid
you know
of,
that
Bob?
you can't see the corona.
We're
of the
afraid
sun
of a
until it's
globe
fully
troll
blocked.
propped up by the algorithm.
Why can't you see the corona of the sun until the moon blocks it?
Okay, so gas pressure. Can we go on to the next guest, please, Bob?
Yeah,
What are you calling out gas pressure here?
Yeah, I'm scared to death.
Bear man and tell them it's your
Jeffrey,
life.
the corona of the sun.
I'll drop you down for now.
Thank you.
He's dropped him. Now, I called him out on this later on, which I'll probably show on Saturday when Dave's up. I'll start to call him out and he starts to respond to me. Let's do this quickly. We've got Sharon up here. Shazza with a £2. Cheers, Shazza. Towards beer money, like this.
So get the beers in, you tight fuck.
There you go. Get the beers in, you tight fuck. Cheers, Shazza. Appreciate that.
I am trying to keep it cordial.
Yeah, but he's not here to have a conversation. Jeffrey just flat smacked him with observable objective reality, and he said, "Nuh-uh, we shouldn't."
If Jeffrey was flat smacking him, why did you come up to save the day? You lying piece of shit.
Expect to see that, but yes, you absolutely would expect to see a silhouette of the moon, but we don't. The sun just starts to darken, and then there's a pause at totality, which the moon doesn't slow down and stop, but that's what we observe, and then the sun just starts to illuminate again. There is no silhouette of a physical object because the moon is not physical. It disappears every month for 2.5 days where nothing can see it, nothing can even detect it. Bob is not here to have a conversation about actual science. He's here to regurgitate his religion of pseudoscience, and that's all.
Steve.
Define actual science then, Aloha. What have you ever done? I notice he's never said, I did this, I did that. Spurs Chemo's got himself in a button moon rocket with Mr. Spoon. Mr. Spoon Twatzoid, by the way. That's what he looks like to me. And the Jeffrey is some new bellend that I've never seen until this week that's suddenly full of confidence and gets crushed by anybody with an idea because he hasn't learnt that he's shit yet. Well, Jeffrey, come on to my live. I'll teach you how shit you are. And bring Aloha with you. And Dave Weiss, Angels of Shite, Solly, and the rest of them. And I'll go 7-on-1 and still point and laugh at every single one of you. But I will mute you all because it'll be fucking hilarious. Anyway, that'll do for my live this evening. Thank you for the super chat. So thank you to the Mr. Stew for the fucking 79 Aussie dollars. Fantastic rainbow. Oh my word. Yeah, I know. I don't know where the moon fucks off to. Right, cheers everyone. So, yeah, I don't think we broke the 100 tonight on here, which was weird. Maybe it's just a bad night for it. I don't know never know what nights to do best, but I can't do late nights and accommodate the Americans like most people do. I can't do it because I've got 9 o'clock now. My alarm will be going off at 2:20. So I'm going to go and get myself a drink, get myself into bed, and get ready for my working day in the real job. Right, so thanks everybody for the support. I will be back. I might even come back and do a debate tomorrow because I'm tempted. I think Jeffrey is going to find his way into my live if I keep doing them. So I want Jeffrey in there for a bit of a let's take the piss out of Jeffrey session. Might even invite him. Right, cheers everyone. I don't even know. I don't think any of the songs are going to work because I have to reboot everything up. Let's do... I know Mad Lion always works. Shall I do Mad Lion again? I might do Twatzoid, see if it works. If it does, I'm going to say goodbye.
Twatzoid, an absolute master at the awkward fake smile. His eyes don't betray the pain he feels at his lack of self-awareness. Twatzoid, a South African, the Southern Cross's compass, thinks he knows the earth is flat, yet doesn't know where the South Pole is. And he cries like a